You know the scene. That plastic toy your kid left in the backyard all summer, or maybe that stack of patio chairs. One day, they seem fine. The next, you put the slightest bit of pressure on them and crack, they just shatter. It's like they gave up overnight. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into exactly what's going on there.
So let's really think about that patio chair for a second. How does something that's supposed to be flexible and tough end up so incredibly fragile that you can just snap it in half? You might think it just gets old and weak, right? But the real story? Oh, it's so much cooler than that.
To get to the bottom of this mystery, we've got to go small. Like, unbelievably small. The real secret isn't something you can see. It's hidden deep inside a single plastic fiber, just like this one. To give you some perspective, this fiber is thinner than a human hair. And the entire story of that giant cracking chair, it starts right here.
All right, so let's officially open the case file. We're on a mission to figure out what turns our everyday, durable plastics into something that just crumbles away. Time to follow the clues.
Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that our usual assumption that plastic just gets weaker with time is not the whole story. Not even close. What's actually happening is this incredibly complex process, like a kind of structural sabotage that kicks off right on the surface.
Now, you can't solve a mystery this small just by looking at it. No, scientists have to basically interrogate the material molecule by molecule. And for that, you need some very, very cool detective tools.
And the main gadget for this job is called an atomic force microscope, or AFM. The best way to think about it is like a high-tech record player. But instead of a needle reading musical grooves, the AFM has this impossibly sharp tip that it uses to literally feel the surface of the plastic. It pokes and prods it at a nanoscale to measure things like hardness and stiffness. It's pretty amazing.
And this image shows you exactly how they did it. The scientists took a slice of the fiber and made a line of these tiny pokes. Those are the little black dots you see, starting from the outer edge and going all the way to the core. This let them create a map, showing exactly how the material's properties changed as it got blasted with UV light.
So they start running the tests, probably expecting to see the plastic just get weaker and weaker. But that is not what they found. The very first clue they uncovered was a total plot twist, something that completely changes how we think about this. And here it is, get this. When plastic first gets hit by UV rays from the sun, it doesn't get weaker, it doesn't get softer, it actually gets stiffer. It starts to harden up, especially on the outside.
And we are not talking about a small change here. Just look at these numbers. After only 120 hours of intense UV exposure, the stiffness of the fiber surface, what scientists call its Young's modulus, skyrocketed by 145%. The plastic is basically building a hard outer shell.
And this isn't just a theory. It's a direct quote from the people who did the research. They saw it plain as day. UV degradation initially increases the Young's modulus, with the increase being more rapid at the surface. But here's the kicker. That newfound strength, it's a complete illusion. It's a trap. Because what happens right after the plastic gets all stiff and hard, well, that's the real key to this whole mystery.
That tough outer shell isn't a sign of strength, it's a symptom of some really deep damage. Because right around that 120-hour mark, the whole game changes. The internal structure that was holding everything together just completely and suddenly falls apart.
And you can literally see the collapse right here. On the left, before any UV, you see those sharp, bright rings? That's the signature of a strong, well-organized internal structure. It's solid. Now look to the right. After 144 hours, that's just 24 hours after it hit peak stiffness, that beautiful structure is just gone, wiped out. It's been replaced by a messy, chaotic blur. The entire internal scaffolding of the plastic has been demolished.
Just how bad is the collapse? Well, in that short 24-hour window, the fiber loses 55% of its internal crystalline structure. I mean, it's an incredibly fast and total breakdown.
Okay, so now we have our two main clues, a super hard, stiff outer surface and a rapidly collapsing, weakened core. This brings us to the final act, the thing that actually causes that final fatal crack. It's all about the brittle skin.
So let's put it all together. Here's how it happens. Step 1. The sun's UV rays attack the plastic surface. Step 2. Instead of getting soft, that surface hardens into a stiff, brittle skin. Step 3, the second you put any stress on it, you sit in the chair, you bend the plastic, that hard outer layer can't handle it. It cracks.
And finally, step 4, those tiny surface cracks become superhighways for destruction, spreading right through the weakened core, and boom, total failure.
So if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. The fatal flaw, the thing that makes plastic break, starts on the outside and works its way in. That hard, brittle skin is the beginning of the end.
Honestly, understanding this whole two-step process, the hardening first, then the collapse, is a massive breakthrough. It tells us exactly where to look for the problem. Which, of course, leaves us with the big question. Now that we know the enemy is this brittle skin, how can we design plastics to fight back, to protect their own surfaces, and to actually be built to last?